From legendary champions to public disgrace, Formula One's biggest names haven't always taken the quiet route after retirement. Today, we will talk about 7 F1 legends who went rogue, revealing the controversies, betrayals, and courtroom battles that kept them in the spotlight long after their era ended. Which F1 legend do you think had the most shocking post-career downfall? Drop your prediction in the comments. It might show up later in the list. Number 7 on the list is Nelson Piquet Sr. After retirement, most Formula One legends fade into graceful obscurity or step into the commentary box. But Nelson Piquet Sr. took a completely different route. The 3-time world champion didn't just hang up his helmet, he picked up a mic and started throwing punches. For years after leaving F1, Piquet made headlines for his bitter public rants, and they weren't just casual jabs. He called Nigel Mansell an uneducated blockhead, mocked his wife's appearance, and repeatedly attacked Ayrton Senna, once cruelly insinuating that Senna was gay in an attempt to tarnish his rival's reputation. The backlash caught up with him decades later. In 2022, old footage resurfaced where Piquet used a racial slur against Lewis Hamilton. That opened the floodgates. The word he used was neguinho, a term with deep racial weight in Portuguese, used to belittle the only black driver in F1 history. By 2023, a Brazilian court ordered Piquet to pay over $950,000 in moral damages for what they called not just offensive, but harmful and damaging speech. Though the fine was lifted in late 2024, the stain remained. Number 6 on the list is Nelson Piquet Jr. If you thought Nelson Piquet Sr. stirred the pot after retirement, wait till you hear about his son. After a short-lived Formula One career, he would go down not for podiums or points, but for detonating one of the biggest scandals in the sport's history, Crashgate. It was 2009 when Piquet Jr., freshly dropped by Renault, revealed that he had been ordered to crash during the 2008 Singapore Grand Prix. His deliberate crash triggered a safety car that conveniently helped teammate Fernando Alonso win the race. The fallout was nuclear. Team principal Flavio Briator and chief engineer Pat Symonds were handed multi-year bans. Piquet Jr., meanwhile, was effectively blacklisted, not for cheating, but for speaking. Because despite admitting to the plan, many believed his confession only came after being dropped. That was opportunistic, not remorseful. And behind that scandal, the next rogue in line is the mastermind who orchestrated it all. Number 5 on the list, Flavio Briatore. Flavio Briatore didn't just walk away from Formula One after the Crashgate scandal, he was forced out. In 2009, when Nelson Piquet Jr. blew the whistle on the deliberate crash at the Singapore Grand Prix, all roads led back to Briatore. As Renault's team principal, he was accused of masterminding the plan, instructing a young driver to crash for the benefit of the team. The result was much expected: a lifetime ban from any FIA-sanctioned event. It was a fall from grace that few in the paddock saw coming. Briatore had always been controversial, more businessman than racer, more showman than strategist. But Crashgate turned controversy into disgrace. He fought the verdict in court, and in 2010, a French court overturned the ban. Still, his name remained synonymous with corruption and manipulation. Formula One moved on, or so it seemed. Number 4 on the list is Pat Symonds. While Flavio Briatore took most of the public heat for Crashgate, Pat Symonds was the man behind the curtain. As Renault's chief engineer in 2008, Symonds played a central role in the scandal, admitting he knew about the plan to have Nelson Piquet Jr. crash deliberately. When the FIA came down on Renault, Symonds wasn't spared. He received a 5-year suspension from Formula One, and for a while it looked like his career in motorsport was over. But the ban didn't stick. Like Briatore, Symonds challenged it legally and saw it overturned in court. And just like that, the door back into Formula One quietly reopened. In the years that followed, he rebranded himself as a technical consultant working behind the scenes, offering strategic advice and rebuilding his reputation. Not with words, but with work. Number 3 on the list is Felipe Massa. Symonds may have re-entered the paddock quietly, but not everyone was ready to move on. Felipe Massa, the man many believe was the true victim of Crashgate, refused to let history settle. Felipe Massa walked away from Formula One in 2017 with dignity. But 7 years later, in 2024, Massa filed a lawsuit demanding the 2008 Drivers' Championship be overturned, claiming he was robbed of the title due to race fixing. In his argument, Massa stated that had the Singapore Grand Prix been voided or handled differently, he would have secured enough points to beat Lewis Hamilton to the championship. And he wasn't just asking for recognition. He was suing for over $80 million in damages, citing financial loss, reputational harm, and emotional distress. Number 2 on the list is Johnny Herbert. F1 post-career drama isn't limited to courtroom showdowns. Some retired drivers who stayed close to the action found themselves caught in controversy of a different kind. Johnny Herbert is one such example, a respected former F1 driver who transitioned into an FIA steward role, tasked with helping enforce race regulations. But by 2025, things took a sharp turn. Complaints began to pile up about conflicts of interest. Herbert's outspoken on-air commentary often clashed with his role as a neutral official. More controversially, his past involvement with betting platforms where he openly criticized current drivers, especially Max Verstappen, raised serious questions about his impartiality. The backlash was swift. The FIA decided to remove Herbert from his stewarding duties, a rare and telling move. Number 1 on the list is Jos Verstappen. Johnny Herbert's fall from grace as an FIA steward showed how tricky it can be to stay relevant in F1 after retiring. But Jos Verstappen took a different path, one marked by a series of public controversies that kept him firmly in the spotlight, and definitely for the wrong reasons. In 2022, Jos made headlines after the Monaco Grand Prix by criticizing Red Bull's race strategy. He publicly stated that the team exerted little influence to help Max, and that the race turned completely in Checo's favor, comments that drew sharp attention from media and fans alike. Jos's blunt style isn't limited to rivals, he's also clashed publicly with Max's management over race strategies and contract negotiations, airing family disputes that most keep private. So guys, that was it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Which of these post-career scandals surprised you most, and who else do you think belongs on this list? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, hit the bell icon so you get all our notifications in time. Until next time.